Hello, welcome everyone after the break. I hope you had enough time to make new connections, interact with peers, and you are now ready for the fourth track of the day. First contestants are here with me and they are waiting to hit the stage and present in front of you their brilliant ideas. So I do hope you're all ready for that. I will just briefly remind you the rules of the competition. Each contestant will have exactly 3 minutes for the presentation. And after that time, jury will have additional 2 minutes to ask questions. I will interrupt each contestant when the time is finished. I have this special device in my ear, and if I give too much time for the contestant, it really hurts because they are shouting into my ear. So apologize, I will be interrupting you after 5 seconds of when your time is finished. Okay, without further ado, let's start with the fourth track of the day, chronic disease management. Ladies and gentlemen, first contestant is ready to enter the stage, so please give her a warm applause. Natalie Stransky-Helikron, Chief Technology Officer at Ipsos. Hello and good luck.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm the COO and co-founder of Adipos, a top 100 Swiss startup company. At Adipos, we image body fat to save lives. Today, the harsh reality for cancer patients is that most of them do not respond to the best therapy available. They get no benefit and sometimes serious adverse event. But above all, they waste time, and cancer patients cannot afford it. They need the right treatment as soon as possible. The problem is that today, no one knows who will respond. We are going to change that. We are developing ImageBat. ImageBat is a word first. It predicts which patient will not respond to therapy before they start it. All the patients have to do is to drink a small bottle of ImageBat before the regular medical scan. The patients who are unlikely to respond can get a better suited therapy right there and then. The best part about ImageBat is that the scanners are widely used and available everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean Poland, Switzerland, the US, China, Australia, everywhere. Adipos has a tremendous team. The core team is 4 entrepreneurs, combining 80 years of industry experience and multiple exits. Our clinical advisors are world key opinion leaders. The core team is supported by a top-notch board of directors, combining 200 years of pharma, biotech, and finance experience. This team has delivered on several major milestones. This year, we have completed a phase 1 clinical trial in healthy volunteers. We are now planning a phase 2 clinical trial in cancer patients. It will be followed by a phase 3 clinical trial and approval. In medical imaging, approval means an exit. We are now raising a 7 million Series A to finance our next clinical trial. Half this money has already been committed. There's still time. We are closing in Q1 2024. This is Adipos. Scan the code and join us on our mission to improve the lives of millions of cancer patients worldwide by giving them a better chance. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, for a great presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, many experts are part of the jury members, and I would like to kindly ask you to introduce yourself before you ask question, and just raise your hand so my colleagues know where to give the microphone. So we will start counting the time after the first question is finished. Okay, so now we have 2 minutes for questions. So let's start.
Hi, Max from Siemens Healthineers Consulting. I'm not a medical expert, but can you explain to me how it works?
Yes, so very shortly, data show that patients who have activated brown fat are much less likely to respond to therapy than other patients. So our contrast agents selectively enhances the contrast of brown fat.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Ahuti Rai, advisor and venture partner, and I'd like to learn a little bit more about the go-to-market strategy. I understand the machines are everywhere, but how are you going to market?
So our first markets are the US and Europe. And our first customers will be the clinicians participating in our clinical trials. We have a B2B strategy with customers being either pharma or diagnostic companies.
Hi. Hey, so I'm Sergey. I'm a managing partner at Longevity. So we too invest early stage in immuno-oncology is one of our sort of core indications. So the question is, can you provide like a rough breakdown of which exactly types of cancers, so which exact disease indications you will be after? And what are you actually going to measure in terms of response in phase 2 clinical trials? It's like all cancers, or you're actually specific?
So our first indication is non-small cell lung cancer because it represents the majority of patients prescribed immuno-oncology treatments. And the second question, sorry.
So what are you going to measure in phase 2 as endpoints?
As endpoint, on the next clinical trial, we just want to see brown fat is here or not. On the next clinical trial, we will then correlate this with treatment outcome.
Thank you very much for the great presentation and for your questions, dear members of the jury. Thank you very much. Big applause for Natalie.
Sorry.
Now it's time for the second contestant. Please welcome Joseph Murad, CEO and co-founder, Beyond8. Beyond8, yes. Hello.
Hello.
And your 3 minutes starts now. Good luck.
That was the 3 dying heartbeats of my father 5 years ago that could have been prevented from a chronic bone marrow disease. Me, my co-founder, my brother, lost our 3rd co-founder that day, but our vision was stronger than ever before, to go beyond the limits of life through digital health. But let's snap back to reality, because challenges are bigger than these relatable stories. Over 4 billion people lack access to primary care, 500 million of them living in Africa, due to non-communicable diseases exploding in this area, where chronic care dominates it. And due to the fact that there is no government subsidization for primary care, there is no filter for this boom, meaning that people turn to expensive private care or medical insurance to solve their issues. Now that's where Beyond8 comes into the picture, and where we offer an online smartphone and web application where you can access online doctors and secondary care carefully navigated by AI every step of the way. We take this to now identify non-communicable diseases early on to treat them, but also to prevent them, to avoid cost-heavy hospital interventions. Bundle it up into a subscription, offer it to employers for their employees. Don't compete with insurance, partner with them to lower their cost of chronic care as well. Scale it up with telecom giants in the region, making us now the leading digital health app in Kenya, and replicating it into the other tech hubs of Africa, grabbing that sweet market share. And we're the only primary care AI app in the region, making it difficult for our competitors to compete in affordability and profitability, and where we build on the fact that Africa will have 2.5 billion people in 2050, making us one of the more prominent AIs where you can acquire data at a very low cost in comparison to Western competition. We're raising $2 to $3 million to take us from $100K to $1 million in the next couple of years. But more importantly, we've built a team that believes in the ethos of going beyond to give you that extra bit of life, even if it is just another heartbeat. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joseph. Let's start with questions.
Thank you, Philip from the EIC Fund. Just what I didn't fully understood. So you also, it's a wellness app, but you are entering the territory of medical advice. If that's correct, how do you ensure that you don't give wrong advice to patients by saying, okay, go for, I mean, I'm giving just an example. You could go for a run a couple of times a week when there is a more serious, let's say, clinical or disease behind this. How do you ensure that they are analyzed correctly? How do you ensure that to the point when they really need to see a healthcare professional? How is that being ensured? And does it impact your, let's say, pathway in terms of some clinical validation or as a being registered or certified as a medical advice? Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'll try to answer it in summary. So yes, we're a digital health primary care application. So we offer the entire end-to-end care journey, where we also enable the AI to now diagnose and help out the physician in those diagnostics. Now that enters the area of CE compliance, which is not really in effect in Africa yet, but we try to follow that European legislation. And the one way to avoid misdiagnoses is simply by automating follow-ups in the application. Because even though it's not right all the time, you can eliminate that by having continuous follow-ups with the patient to eliminate any symptoms and any complications from there on.
We still have time for questions.
Hi, my name is Ayot Sunday. I lead partnerships at Founders Factory Africa. I'd love to hear more about your traction.
Sure. So as mentioned, we have close to 300,000 users right now. The top 3 insurance companies that we've now partnered with as well to spread the solution. As I was showing in the slides, at $100,000 ARR, raising a seed round to take us to a Series A in the next couple of years. And now also scaling the solution together with Safaricom, one of the telecom giants in the region.
Can we have a microphone here? Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much for the presentation. And you're doing a great job, obviously. So can you shed more light on the AI component?
Absolutely. It started out as an AI symptom checker. So it identifies the symptom, asks questions, and provides a recommendation. We built that since 2017 and have now developed it into a diagnostic support system as well for the physicians and the secondary care. So it essentially follows you throughout the journey, right? Through the care navigation as well as the identification of the symptoms.
Thank you, Joseph, very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Big applause for our presenter, and I keep my fingers crossed for all contestants. Now, please welcome Hamel Amrania, founder and CEO of Digistine. Hello. Welcome to stage, and now you have 3 minutes for your presentation. Good luck.
Thank you. Digistine is a disruption in breast cancer care. We provide, for the first time, an accessible solution for guiding precision therapy to patients all around the world. And we are already selling this solution. Globally, there are 2.3 million new cases of breast cancer each year. And shockingly, after cancer surgery, 60% of patients need to have their cancer sample shipped to a single location in the USA to perform a laboratory analysis that is slow and expensive and cumbersome. These tests are so expensive that only 5% of the world's population can afford these tests. And those who can afford these tests wait up to 2 months for their test results, where just a 30-day delay results in a 13% elevated mortality risk. The market is ready for disruption now, and there is a 90% untapped revenue potential in the global cancer biomarker market. And the current competition is unable to meet this market demand. So how does Digistain compare to the competition? In a recent government-approved independent clinical study, it was concluded that Digistain has equivalent diagnostic performance to the market-leading competitor, with the ability to deliver results immediately at a fraction of the cost, saving the national health system in the UK alone $300 million a year. This is a disruption, technology-wise and affordability-wise. Digistain enables hospitals to perform analysis on their patients' cancer samples with their existing equipment combined with our proprietary software to deliver decision-making data almost instantly. Oncologists now have the ability for the first time to make treatment decisions before the patient has even left the recovery room. And we can do this because Digistain determines the severity of cancer by recording a unique spectral fingerprint and then turns this data into a personalized risk score that the oncologist can use to select the best treatment for his or her patient. With identical clinical evidence to the competition, Digistain is already being adopted into clinical practice and sold into clinical practice. We've come a long way from starting out at Imperial College, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hamel. We still have 2 minutes for questions, so I believe you will be able to say everything what you wanted to say. Let's hope there are any questions. Yes, there are, of course. So may I ask my colleagues to provide microphones? Thank you.
Thank you. Just Huti Rai, Strategic Advisor and Venture Partner, just to repeat that. Unfortunately, we didn't get to learning a bit more about your go-to-market. So I saw the commercial traction, but how are you actually going to market? What's your plan?
So for the moment, we've struck deals with insurance companies, and we're already reimbursed, and clinics are using Digistain with their patients being reimbursed. The next phase is now to secure deals with the National Health Service to reach the national reimbursement market.
Okay, so you're replacing a current model of care
Yes.
that might already be embedded and funded? Is that sort of your go-to-market strategy to do that?
Well, the current state-funded healthcare system cannot afford the incumbent. So they're already receiving inappropriate care. And that's our low-hanging fruit for us.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Hey, so I have 2 questions. First one, and it's more of a clarification type of thing. So you're essentially trying to replace histology, right? So traditional histology that is done. So what is, because I didn't get it really. So the first one is the relationship between the traditional histological report and your approach. And the second one is, you started to do it in actual healthcare institutions. Are you doing it with a specific type of breast cancer right now? So is it like your most traditional infiltrating carcinoma, for example, or you're all over with all the types of it? That's it.
Sure. So in answer to your first question, we're not replacing histology. That's very difficult to do. It won't happen anytime soon. We come in after histology. After histology, 60% of patients require a companion diagnostic. That's the bit that we're replacing. Second question.
Type of cancer.
So currently we're targeting invasive cancer, which is about 90% of all breast cancer. But this is a platform technology and we've already demonstrated adaptability to other cancer types, but we're focusing on breast cancer for the moment.
Right, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Hannah, for the presentation. Big applause, of course, for him. Thank you. I hope you're ready for the next picture. Please welcome to the stage Max G. Ostermeyer, CEO and founder, ePlan Data Ophthalmic Products. Hello, your 3 minutes. We'll start in a second. Good luck.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Max Ostermeyer. I'm the CEO and founder of ePlan Data, and we are improving the care of glaucoma patients. Briefly, glaucoma, chronic eye disease, age-related, #1 reason in the world for people getting blind. It's a slowly progressing disease, and here you can see how the vision of a patient with glaucoma develops from early stage to advanced stage, and eventually can really lead to blindness if the disease is not well controlled. It's a pressure-related disease, means that increased pressure inside the eye is causing damages to the optic nerve, which over time leads to loss of eyesight. So any therapy aims to lower and control eye pressure. But the problem is that today you can check the eye pressure only in the office, and that's only usually happening a few times a year. But it's a glaucoma is a 24/7 disease. Means the pressure is strongly fluctuating during the day in between office visits, and that's knowledge which is not available right now. And that's the reason why in many cases uncontrolled glaucoma is detected way too late, leading to loss of eyesight at glaucoma patients. And there's also no way of self-monitoring by patients, so patients are left in uncertainty. And that's also the reason why many patients are not adhering to their therapy all the time. Despite the wealth of treatment options, still many patients are losing eyesight because of glaucoma. We have invented the IMED system, which consists of a tiny implantable microsensor, which is placed right now in combination with cataract surgery or in combination with glaucoma surgery. It's a permanent implant, which is powered externally by RFID, by handheld device. And so we are able to gather real-life information, send it to the eye doctor. The eye doctor knows early on if a patient's disease gets out of control, and he can personalize treatment early on. We are empowering patients by self-monitoring, and we see in our studies that patients show way better adherence to take the eye drops versus patients without self-monitoring. The business model is quite attractive because we have 2 revenue components. We have one-time revenues for the eye doctors for placing the devices, and we have recurring revenues for the remote patient monitoring services provided by the eye doctor. So it's a quite attractive business model for the ophthalmologist, but as well for us as a company. Market size quite large, of course. We have accomplished important milestones. We are CE marked. We have obtained FDA breakthrough device designation. We are right now launching the product in Europe. We expect FDA approval in 2027. And that is done by a very seasoned, experienced team out of the industry. Myself and my partner Stefan have already done 2 startup companies which we have successfully exited. Also, our board is very seasoned with industry experts. So that's ePlan Data. We are really here to help patients to preserve their eyesight and to also help eye doctors to more effectively and also more efficiently treat their patients. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Max. Do we have any questions? Yes. Here.
Thank you. Pekka Simula, Managing Partner, Investor Life Science. What's the clinical impact that you expect from this? So if you implant this in a glaucoma patient, how much can you slow down the progression of the disease by ensuring that the treatment is right?
We have looked into this in our clinical studies, and we see that compared to standard of care arm, the eye pressure is well better controlled by 20 to 30% compared to standard of care. Means, and as I said, any therapy is aiming for lowering eye pressure. So we are monitoring, but by monitoring, we have been able to show that patients with our system have 20 to 30% lower eye pressure compared to standard of care. And that's an indicator, that also the disease progression will be slowed down. Glaucoma is a slowly progressing disease, and so we really have to follow up patients for a long time. And therefore, the surrogate endpoint for any therapy is pressure lowering. As I said, we are monitoring, we are not therapeutic, but we have seen in our studies that by close monitoring, the pressure is much better under control versus standard of care.
Hi, this is Amin from Carista Life Sciences Investor. Are there any other applications? Can you leverage the device to
because we don't see where...
Oh, sorry, I'm here.
Oh, yeah, here
here.
you are.
Sorry. Are there any other things you can monitor once the device is implanted? I'm thinking about glucose monitoring, for instance.
Not really. Actually, we are really focusing on pressure. So you could think also about other indications, like in cardiovascular diseases, like in heart failure. You can also think about measuring the pressure in the portal vein, which is relevant for liver diseases. But right now, with Implantada, we are focused on ophthalmology, and our goal is to position the company for a trade sale in the next 2 to 3 years, and then I will start to enter new indications. We have already done intracranial pressure sensing and sold the company J&J before we started Implantada. So at the end, we own a technology platform measuring intracorporeal pressures.
And the last question.
Thank you. Hi, this is Susanna from Biogen. How do you envision adoption of your device in market? I'm asking because the idea is really to diagnose early. So that would mean either you're implanting the device in healthy individuals or at risk. So, and how do you envision that?
No, actually, it's really for patients being already diagnosed with glaucoma. And in the beginning, it's really for more challenging cases, advanced disease stages, normal tension glaucoma patients. So these are patients where you want more data. It would be initially not for early-stage glaucoma patients or at-risk patients, because I think that would be too invasive. But there are millions of patients being already in an advanced disease stage. And here it's so important to kind of preserve the remaining eyesight, just to preserve the quality of life. And so it's really more for the later stage in the beginning. And then, of course, we will move more and more also in early-stage glaucoma patients.
Thank you, Max, very much for your presentation. Thank you. Big applause for Max and his idea. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for Krzysztof Jedynak, Senior Mobile Developer, Life Metric. Please give him a warm applause. 3 minutes starts now.
Hi, I'm Krzysztof Jedynak, developer from Life Metric R&D company. And today I'm going to present you our wristband. We are addressing the challenges of stopping cardiovascular disease using medical wristband. For over a century, blood pressure cuff is a common way for monitoring blood pressure, but inconvenient due to its variability, inaccuracy, and because people don't want to take time to just sit down and use it. Our AI wristband is addressing all of these issues as never done before, being the first and only FDA cuffless blood pressure monitoring device. Our wristband gives us a convenient way for monitoring blood pressure 24 hours, providing unnecessary data to identify risk and trends, and at the end, better treatment. Our monitoring is designed for patients to have always-on data anywhere. This is real game changer, because always-on data is a very important thing, as seen is glucose monitoring devices. So I'm really excited about this, because here we have very similar solution, and this is real game changer, because we are doing all of this for a cost less than the most of consumer smartwatches at the market, making it affordable for patients. Now we are starting to commercialize, and we have secure our IP. I'm really proud to be working with phenomenal team who made it possible to have first and only FDA clear cuffless blood pressure monitoring device. Our team is more than 5 decades of collective medical device, wellness, and digital health experience. I'm really proud to be part of our hard work to stop the #1 killer being cardiovascular disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Krzysztof. Okay, so now let's start the question session.
Hi, thank you very much. Sander Rutenberg, working for Novartis. Can you speak a little bit to your primary target audience? It seemed a little more direct to consumer as well was in there. So can you speak a bit more towards the envisioned revenue model?
Okay. So currently we are cooperating with RPM companies and with hospitals and also with large academia. We have revenue from already booked devices on worth $5 million. And we have also next package worth $10 million. And very soon we are also have planned for retail sales. So
hi, Livia Jacob from a telemedicine provider in Switzerland. Could you elaborate a bit more on the technology? I read calibration free. How does it work exactly?
Yeah. It's so generally, I can show you. This is our wristband. So here we have few sensors. This is first generation. In the next generation, we have planned to add more sensors, and we are using machine learning for improve the signal from this sensor. And I'm not sure that I answered on your question because this is more medical stuff, and I am a technical person to,
Okay, thank you.
It's hard to answer.
I believe we do not have any time left for additional questions. So thank you very much, Krzysztof, for your presentation. Thank you. We are right in the middle of the track. Oh, hello. Hi. I would like you to give a warm applause for our next contestant with me on the stage, Uira Soutomelo. Did I pronounce it correctly? Yeah. CEO of Lucid Genomics. Good luck.
So we are building Lucid Genomics, a future spin-off from Max Planck Institute in Berlin and Charité Berlin. And then we are building AI-driven solutions for making the entire genome actionable. So, it's not working. Sorry. The current genetic testing is very inefficient. So it's an estimate of 400 million people in the world having genetic diseases. And then it takes a long journey to diagnose them. It's called genetic odyssey. And at the end, from the tested patients, the majority remain undiagnosed. So it's a big problem. And these patients, they have a huge cost from themselves and also for the healthcare system. So why is that? Why is the majority of patients that remain undiagnosed? And this comes from the fact that in the last 2 decades, we were very good at looking at 2% of our DNA, what's called the coding part. And actually, many machine learning tools are built for that and work very good, but we got to a point of saturation that we cannot solve more genetic cases. And now we have to move forward. And that's what we do believe. It's time to move to entire DNA analysis. We look at 100% of the genome. We do not trash the data that is produced, and then we give more actionability. So this is Lucid Genomics. We are AI-driven solutions. We're decoding the dark matter part of the DNA, and we bring more actionability. We would like to diagnose more patients, dramatically reduce the time for diagnosis, and then actually there's a potential to identify new druggable targets in the genome. So we do not produce the data, we do not sequence the DNA, but we work with collaborations, and then some companies, they do the sequence. What we do is we process the big data, we analyze 2%, we also give 100%. This is our USP analysis. And then the main challenge in the field is all of us here, we have 4 million mutations in our DNA, even though we're healthy. And then the medical doctor, the user, they have to look at the top 10 of them. And then at the end, it's just one mutation that actually causes the disease. And then this is a very hard step. That's why we had to build different modules. We have 2 machine learning algorithms. One of them is disease agnostic. And then we have also another one tailored for 3D specific disease, heart, skeletal, and then blindness. And then we put all this together in a software that we now have an MVP. We're testing with the geneticist to get feedback. And then we have a very clear market entry. It's the rare genetic disease market, and where our tool is actually already working on that. But we have a vision that we move from a software as a service to a digital platform. We found out that customers in adjacent markets, they have similar need, but they need to explore the 100% of the DNA data to give more actionability. So here's the team. Hossein and I, we are co-founders of Lucid Genomics. We're a team of 8 people based in Berlin in the Max Planck Institute. And then we are now in the fundraise step. We are raising 1.6 pre-seed seed round for 18 months, and most of it is for the software development and migrate to the cloud system. We're Lucid Genomics. We're lighting up the dark matter of the DNA. Thank you.
That was well prepared, exactly on time. Thank you very much. So let's start questions now, if there are, yes.
I already have the microphone. Hey, thank you for the pitch. So what I didn't understand, and this is me not understanding it most probably, is how does this, if we ditch the science apart for a second, how does this contribute to increased rate of diagnosis of rare disease conditions? Maybe it has to do with the fact that you didn't talk about go-to-market, right? But you still need to get patients sequenced. So what is, how does that actually solve the issue?
So right now, the cost for genome sequence is dropping, and then there's an increased number of institutes, diagnostic labs perform whole genome sequencing, but the bottleneck is the analysis. In Germany, from January 2024, there's a new law that the patients with genetic disease and cancer are going to get reimbursed by the statutory health insurance, and then the amount of data will be there, but like we need to build a tool to analyze that. So if I got correctly your question, that's in the diagnostics market where the data comes from, and then they need a tool for doing the analysis.
Okay, fair enough.
Hi, Sander from Novartis. Who's paying and how much are they paying?
Yeah, so for the diagnostic market, we are charging 150 euros per analyze, and then diagnostics labs and also the reimbursement system will pay for it. But our vision is to build this digital platform that we also partner with pharmaceutical companies, and we see if there's a potential of analyzing 100% of the DNA as being a good part for patient stratification in clinical trials. So this one we have still to build the model, but the market entry in rare genetic disease, we have very clear software as a service that we're going to license for the potential customers.
This is Jan Solis. Sorry. Yeah, Jan Solis in Silico Medicine. So what's the validation? Have you done any validation studies on this?
Yeah, so we validate the 4 modules independently. We have a proof of concept of each of them. Right now, we're building all them together in a user-friendly software that we have to perform a stronger proof of concept. We did with 33 patients, it's a very small cohort, that they were for decades undiagnosed with different disease, mental retardation, skeletal diseases, and epilepsy. And then we found out that we could diagnose 85% of them by looking at 100% of the DNA data. Now we increase it to 300 patients, and we want to finish this by early Q1 2024.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause for the great presentation that Ura made for us. Thank you. Now, please welcome Eric Frick. Eric is the CEO of Pain Drainer. Hello, and good luck.
So, when talking about Pain Drainer, I would first like you to imagine a person. We can call her Emma. She has been living with chronic pain for the last 10 years, affecting her life in a way that sometimes she can't work, train, or hang out with her family. She is vastly limited, and she don't know how to solve it. Then imagine this. She is not alone. She is one individual out of 190 million individuals living with chronic pain in US and EU alone. Despite this, the access to pain physicians are quite limited, and the solutions to treat them are low or limited. Therefore, this is a problem that needs to be addressed. And this is what we at Pain Drainer have done. We have created a platform for chronic pain patients to be accessed by a pain physician, where we provide remote treatment for pain patients to see how their treatment plan affects the patient over time. We have a solution that is not a wellness product, it's a medical device, which means that our product is the solution of a number of clinical trials. Our latest multi-center study was conducted together with Weill Cornell and Newton Wellesley and was published in Pain Medicine. The results were quite remarkable. Over a 12-week period, we showed that we could lower the pain level of a patient in 3 out of 4 cases. And we could also lower the depression and anxiety rates. In the same time, we were able to increase the activity engagement of each patient, which in fact do change their quality of life. So this means that the platform is now ready to go to the next phase, which is the commercial phase. And this will initially be offered in the US and Sweden, where we will sell it as a B2B license product, where we have a per member per month market model, where you pay for each active user on the platform, either both the device for the physician and the app that the patient utilizes. The team behind the product is myself and a number of our colleagues that have worked with this, that have experience from artificial intelligence, the medical device digital space, as well as life science sector, and also the collaboration with partners to move the company across the borders US. So far, 2023 has been a very good year for us. We have a device registered as an FDA-registered medical device class 1. We have commenced sales. We have also signed a seed financing round, meaning that we are able to take the commercial step into 2024. And we hope to sign our first clinic before year of end. And this means that the pathway for 2024 looks very promising to do the full commercial rollout in US. So with that, I thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay,
This is
sorry, Philip from the ESC Fund. If I understand it correctly, it's an app, the device, right?
Yeah, the patient interface is a mobile application.
Okay.
Yep.
So for me, do you have any information on patient compliance? Because ultimately, it will the success of it will stand and fall whether the patients are keep doing the exercises or not. How do you ensure that? So is there any data, and how is it ensured that they actually keep following the advice from the device?
We have adherence levels from the clinical trials, and we can divide them into 2 sections. The first one is the dropout on day 1 and 2. And we see that of 100% onboarded, we lose around 40% day 1 or 2. But then the remaining 60%, they have a stickiness of around 85% that actually stay the entire 12-week period, which was the period for the trial. So we think that it's a fairly good stickiness and adherence. And since it is activated between the clinician and the patient, there is a continuous dialogue between the clinician and the patient in the app, which we think promote adherence.
Okay. Hi, this is Dan from Sandoz, and I saw on your map you mentioned Sweden and US as the first market, but I saw Germany for next year, and I was wondering, for your go-to-market model, are you going down the DiGA track, or what's the idea here?
When moving to Germany, that would be our preferred route, the DiGA track. The reason for us moving to US in the beginning is first that the clinical trial was conducted in the US, so we have the clinical data from US, but mainly because US have something called RTM, Remote Therapeutic Monitoring. So we know what the product is priced or valued at in the US market, and then therefore we know how we can charge it in our license model to the clinics.
We have time for a last question.
Okay. The question is on the data side. So how much of that do you capture? Do you have any plans of sort of doing something else with the data that you capture from the user and the interactions with the physician?
If I answer the question correctly, you mean what we will do more with the data rather than just analyze it for the patient themselves?
Yeah, exactly. So you ultimately do interact with patient data. So what do you do with that? Or do you own that?
I mean, we don't have a set plan on how to build big data registers or platforms right now. But obviously, the more data we do get, the more we can provide to pain physicians naturally or internationally on how different type of sort of parts of the pain population reacts to different type of treatments, obviously. But
maybe there will be pharma companies interested.
Eric Frick, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you. Big applause for Eric. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Antalfi is waiting for his presentation now, so please give him a warm welcome. He's a co-founder and CEO at Smart Respiratory. Good luck.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Thomas. I'm co-founder of Smart Respiratory, and we make respiratory conditions measurable and trackable. Let me unpack this statement. Respiratory is the third leading cause of death after cancer and cardiovascular, the #1 reason for missed school days. But unlike blood pressure, which you measure a few times a month, or blood glucose, which you measure a few times a day, respiratory condition is not measured every month or even every year. And if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So what have we done? We have created a small lung function testing device, which patients can use at home. You blow into it, and gives an instant reading on your phone. For inhalers, which respiratory patients use, we have a little monitoring device which will tell you an important piece of information when and how often you've been using your inhaler. You just touch it to the back of your phone and gives an instant reading saying, I have 24 puffs left in my inhaler, and shows me when I've been using it. Just like increased blood pressure or higher blood glucose indicate increased risk, the data collected by our sensors, analyzed on our platform, can show to patients if they have an increased risk of an asthma attack, and it can show to clinicians if their medication is ineffective and they need to review the medication. So having developed the platform, we have to please patients, providers, and payers. Patients have downloaded our app more than 80,000 times and have taken more than 2 million measurements. We help answer questions like, is my daughter taking her inhaler regularly? Or am I about to have an asthma attack? And have great reviews for that. For clinicians, we help doctors and nurses diagnose and manage asthma by showing the variability of airway obstruction and showing adherence to inhaler treatment. We work with over a dozen NHS clinics and a few major pharma. And for payers, we help reduce the cost of asthma patients in various places in the care path by reducing hospitalization and reducing asthma attacks. So now that everyone's happy, how do we make money? We make money by monitoring as a service. We send a little home monitoring package to patients and help them with the in-app notifications and live phone calls to monitor their condition in those clinically significant 90-day windows. We sell 90-day monitoring service to the NHS for £69, and just saving a single outpatient episode saves the NHS more than £200, so there's plenty of scope for savings. There are over 100,000 asthma hospital episodes in the UK and 160,000 asthma diagnoses per year, so even a reasonable penetration rate will give us millions of revenues per annum, and we're looking way beyond the UK. Last year, we had pre-launched revenues of £360,000, showing there's a fair bit of interest in what we do. Finally, to introduce ourselves, my co-founder and myself have been in business together for more than 20 years. We have built, managed, and successfully exited companies in IT and healthcare. And we spent $2.5 million of our own money in building the platform and looking for investments. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, for a great presentation. Let's start with questions. The first one is here in the first row.
Pekka Simula, Managing Partner, Investor Life Science Fund. Thanks for the pitch. What's the competitive situation?
The current practice is a plastic peak flow meter, which has very low adherence rates and very high data fabrication rates, so we can do much better than that. Looking forward to digital solutions, we have 3 crucial advantages. One is that our sensors are designed and priced for mass market adoption. 2 is that our software goes way beyond reporting patient condition. We have predictive features, both AI and advanced statistical features. And 3 is that our service model of monitoring as a service has superior health economics.
And to continue on that, how would you compare the recent approaches on kind of sound-only based approaches, so no device, just a mobile phone analyzing the sound of your breathing?
That's something we're actually looking at developing ourselves, but it has very strong limitations as far as CE marking any results you have from there. It's not an accepted marker as opposed to the things we measure, which are. How do you compare yourselves to Propeller Health? Propeller Health is an inhaler monitor similar to what we do, about an order of magnitude more expensive. So the health economics for Propeller Health don't really work because this inhaler I have in my pocket, this costs between 1 and 10 pounds. And if the monitoring device costs 100 pounds, then the seatbelt is more expensive than the car. Ours costs about £1 a month to use.
We still have time for the last one. So, yes.
Philip, BNP Ventures. In regards to your business model, what role do collaborations with pharma partners play? This could be an interesting companion to any respiratory drug.
We are cooperating with several pharma, both for research purposes and for patient benefit. So that is something we're actively doing.
Okay, Thomas, thank you very much. Great presentation, great pitch. A big applause for Thomas. I can see that Wojciech Radomski is waiting to hit the stage. Please give him a warm welcome. He's the CEO and co-founder at Stetomy. Hello.
Hello.
We have this intro while the pitcher is entering the stage. So let's put this intro. Yeah. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Wojciech, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Stetomy, the revolutionary AI stethoscope for monitoring and diagnosing kids' lungs. So I'm sure that most of you have kids, and you all know all those problems with unnecessary hours spent at clinic waiting for the doctor, wondering if your kid's cough is something serious or not. Or maybe the situations that you are on the vacation, your kid starts snoring, and whether or not it's the time to go for a hospital. So it's not only you, thousands and billions of patients all around the world have the similar problems. Statistics shows that every parent statistically spent over 40 hours at clinics unnecessarily. That's caused by an average 12 times cold for your kids, and 72% of those visits are unnecessary. The problem is much, much bigger when it comes to kids with asthma, and the asthma kit is a huge problem because over 14% of our kids have asthma. So Stetomy makes home healthcare easier. By applying this stethoscope together with AI algorithm, patients put this device on the chest, this device records the sounds, and our AI analyzes this, providing you the instant feedback. The feedback providing parameters like wheezes, rhonchi, coarse crackles, fine crackles, and other parameters that help to track all the common pediatric diseases, especially when it comes to asthma and asthma attacks. Our device is already recommended by medical associations. So a Society of Allergology and Society of Pediatric Pulmonology officially recommend to use this device when it comes to any problems of lungs. With 93% of accuracy and AI medical certification, we are the tool to support all the chronic diseases. Stetomy is not just the app and the device, it's the full ecosystem. So besides the solution for the family, we have a dedicated module for asthma, which in most recent publications shows that we can even detect asthma exacerbation even 7 days before the asthma attack appears. And I'm really proud to announce that today, Annals of Family Medicine announced a publication which shows that Stetomy is 30% more accurate than any other solutions available on the market, including peak flow meters. So we have happy customers recommending each other with extremely high NPS, and we are now following the pathway of commercialization. We want to have the Stetomy on every corner in every shop, similarly to thermometers, because this is how the patients will use it. Have a great team, and now we are closing our bridge financing round to close the bigger round in the next year and focus on the US expansion. Thank you.
Thank you, Wojciech, for great presentation. We're ready.
Why only kids and not adults?
Well, when it comes to kids' diseases, they are much more frequent, and parents are much more serious about kids' diseases than compared to yourself. The solution works also with adults, but at the beginning we are focusing on communication based on kids because of the commercial strategy.
Hi, Tom from Carista. Could you give us a few light on your clinical data?
Of course, we have 14 scientific publications based on which we get the CE certification. We have gathered over 1.2 million dedicated sound tags described by the doctor, and based on them we have developed our algorithm and obtained the certification. Many different studies, one of them a long observation study, 6 months on 500 patients, and based on this study, for example, the last publication in Annals of Family Medicine was created.
Hi, this is Alex from Phoenix Group. Have you figures how many hospital visits could you actually avoid with your solution? Because I think that was the figure you didn't show yet.
Yes, that's something that we are planning to run after obtaining the bigger round. So we already have designed the study to show how many visits we will save. In general, currently we do not have this specific data.
Thank you for the presentation. My name is Vilma. I'm from European Innovation Council. I would like to ask you, what is the price of this device and what will be your primarily markets? Thank you.
So right now we are changing the pricing model, and the solution will be available below $200 for every user. We are also after 2 pilots with Ministry of Health, and we are in the final stage of obtaining reimbursement for chronic patients. So it will be 70 or 80% reimbursed for them. And with this bridge round which we are signing right now, we want to show initial traction in Poland to go after the US with the bigger round.
Thank you, Wojciech, for your
Thank you very
presentation.
much.
Thank you. Big applause, Wojciech Radomski. Unfortunately, we do not have any additional time for comments and questions. We need to immediately skip to this next picture. So please give a big round of applause to Julian Carter, founder, director of engineering, Tidal Sense. Hello. And good luck.
Okay, I was going to say it was going to be a pleasure to be here today, but I'm suffering a migraine for the first time in 5 years, so I do apologize. But I'm representing Tidal Sense, and we're a respiratory technology company. We're based in Cambridge in the UK, and we're tackling chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. That's a disease of smokers and air pollution, rising prevalence due to an aging population. And the big problem is late diagnosis is driving these enormous healthcare costs. And these people are going in for acute care in respiratory distress. The big problem is the diagnostic method at the moment is neither specific nor accurate. It takes specialists, it takes time, you have to do forced expiratory maneuvers. And actually, oftentimes, by the time you've actually diagnosed, you've already caused a lot of damage to the lungs. Our solution is the end-tidal system, and we measure carbon dioxide as you breathe normally, what you're doing now, and that's known as tidal breathing. And that data is uploaded automatically to the cloud, where we use our AI algorithms, and it returns a diagnosis moments later to the clinician. The speed and the simplicity of this test means that you can do this test at the first point of contact with the healthcare system. From entering the clinician's room to getting the diagnosis is less than 5 minutes. Since we announced our end-diagnosed product, we've had tremendous pull from the NHS because of significant operational cost savings, and we're in the final negotiations now to see this rolled out in the primary care network in the UK from next year. We also have contracts with pharma and are in negotiation with contracts with 4 pharma companies who are dominating the clinical trials market in respiratory. And their motivation is to diagnose people earlier and treat them earlier and develop drugs to slow down the progression of COPD. We'll be launching in the EU and the UK with a Class 2A certified device from next year, and we're in discussions with the FDA, and we hope to enter the US market in 2025. Our ambition actually is to completely transform the respiratory care pathway globally and to be the key component to for interventions such as smoking cessation and new therapeutics to slow down or even stop completely the progression of this disease. We have a great team. We have a diverse team, and we have a growing team to meet our scale-up ambitions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Julian. Okay, there are only 2 minutes. 2 minutes left for questions. Let's start.
Ahuti Rai, Strategic Advisor, Venture Partner. I guess I'm interested in the current devices and model of care if they all have to be replaced in order to have your device, and how you justify that as you're selling this to healthcare providers.
Well, I mean, obviously, we're in discussions with the NHS on, and you know, the people with the commissioners have realised it's cost saving to them for a certain cohort of patients to have our test compared to the current spirometry test. It's saving them money. Actually, and it's saving them money in the short term. That's not taking into account, actually, you're saving drug care costs associated with inappropriate drug use and also the long-term benefits. That's just saying here and now, you save money right now by using our technique at the cost we provided compared to what you're doing right now. So it's been quite an easy path with those commissioners. And as I say, we're in the final steps now for that contract to roll out.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions? Everything was clear. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Okay, thank you.
We do hope you will feel much better soon. Let's hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now aiming the last picture of this track. Please welcome Marcos Rubio, CTO and co-founder at Tukovi. Yes, okay. Good luck.
Hi, I'm Marcos Rubio, and I'm happy to introduce to you how we are scaling follow-up and patient prioritization using our AI-powered phone consultation automation platform. Surprisingly, we're the first one opening this topic, healthcare capacity. From healthcare shortage of healthcare professionals to aging populations, the flywheel of adverse healthcare outcomes is accelerating, claiming for solutions that allow investing on preventing care while efficiently managing acute cases. To solve this problem, we started Tukovi. Basically, we ask ourselves 2 questions. How can we use AI to increase healthcare capabilities while increasing quality of care? And how can we bring deep tech closer to those people who barely know how to use a smartphone? Let me introduce you to Lola. Lola is an intelligent, empathic, virtual caregiver who is able to automate phone consultation using conversational AI. Basically, Lola can phone call and receive phone calls from patients for any care pathway. Patients can speak freely, and all this information is structured using NLP techniques and send it back to healthcare professionals already prioritized so they can take decisions based on data. But Lola is only the patient-facing element of Tukovi Health Manager, a medical device, as well as a medical device platform, who is able to automate the follow-up for any disease in any care pathway, and available in more than 100 languages. This automation happens not only in the phone consultation, but also by providing intelligent alert to optimize clinical interventions. We have partnered with more than 25 hospitals in Spain, Portugal, and the UK, and we are active in 20 care pathways, reinventing the way chronic patients are taken care of by providing continuity of care, basically in the form of weekly or monthly telephone calls that are allowing healthcare system not only to decrease face-to-face visits, but also to prevent chronic patient exacerbations. In terms of tractions, we are growing our revenues in the 3x year over year while maintaining excellent rates in patient engagement and satisfaction. Obviously, we're not the only one using conversational AI to tackle capacity problems, but we're unique when it comes to dealing with clinical care pathways automation for any disease. We have a strong team comprises of engineers, clinicians, and operators with extensive experience building medical device, bringing them to market, founding and exiting healthcare companies. And we are now ready to fuel our next growth stage. We are raising 6 million. 3 million of them are already committed by the EAC fund. And we're using this money to help sustain our growth. We're anticipating a 10x growth in less than 2 years, yeah. And we're expecting to grow our presence in hospital by 6x, being present in more than 100 hospitals. And if you want to be part of the solutions and also listen to Lola, we're happy to talk. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcos. Are there any? Yes, can we have a microphone? Thank you.
What's the AI behind it? Is it OpenAI?
Sorry?
What's the AI behind it? Is it OpenAI?
No, we started the company 4 years ago, so it was before the huge boom of OpenAI. We're using some Gen AI to small pieces, but the background is totally explainable AI, trying to structure all the information the patient is saying into things that are previsible and understandable by health professionals. So it's classic technique of NLP.
What happens, for instance, in cases of medical emergencies, when someone needs acute help, or for instance, also outside of office hours, those types of events?
Yeah. So there's a disclaimer here, like we cannot operate on emergency situations. So our intended use is for patient monitoring or automation of specific care pathways, but we are not an emergency service. It is true that we are open to inbound calling, so the patient can call the system 24/7, and it may happen that we face emergency situations. So in those cases, we will show a disclaimer, pronounce a disclaimer to say this is not an emergency service. If you have so, we cannot sustain that.
Maybe I missed it, but what's your current revenue?
We are going to close the year with more or less in between 700K, 800K ARR. And we have multiplied by almost 4 from last year, and we're expected to multiply that number again by 3 next year, basically because we are partnering with medical device industry and pharma company, which are scaling our service through many number of hospitals.
We have time for a last question. If there is one. No. Thank you very much. Oh, we have?
So as you go from country to country, how quickly can you develop for a new pathway and a new language?
Yeah. We are operational in 6 languages as of today, so that means that we can create new care pathways in a matter of days or weeks in those 6 languages. And when it comes to new languages, from the 100 that I said they're available, it usually takes around 1 month and 1.5 to build a system and also validate it.
Okay, Marcos, we have 9 seconds, so there is no time left for question and answering it. Thank you very much. Marcos was the last speaker at this round, so now we are finishing. It was quite a round. Thank you very much to all of the contestants for great ideas and great presentations.